Hello everyone and welcome back if you did tune into the previous stream, and welcome to everyone that is new to the Gameweek 17 deadline stream. We will be counting down till the deadline. Obviously we should be streaming for around an hour, so not going to go right up till the deadline, but we'll discuss everything Gameweek 17.
If you guess the number I'm thinking in my head, we'll stream for 5 hours up until the deadline. It's 69.
Also the sub goal on screen, I'm not sure if it is updating live, we'll have to see as we go, but we are trying to hit 7k subs by the end of the deadline stream. It'd be so good if we can hit it on stream. I believe we have around 33 subscribers to go. So if we can get enough people in here, it'd be awesome to see if we could hit 7k subs on stream. It has been a long time coming, between 6k and 7k, but it'd be awesome if we could hit it live.
Long time coming in my face.
That's right. Looking at the poll, Salah currently has the majority of the votes, 76%. That's 17 votes in there right about now. Trent's got 6%, Bernardo 12%, and Other has got 6%. Whoever voted Other, let us know who you put as your captain. It is a decent game week to go for Salah as captain this week against Newcastle at home, but let's go without saying, Bernardo against Leeds at home is definitely a good fixture as well, and Trent in the same game. Not a bad option either if Liverpool can get the clean sheet. Man City game, what's happening? So there is a bit of potential about the postponement there. I'll try and get you some information on that one. Unless anything has come up since the last stream that we did, I don't believe there's too much news on that. Do you think it's a good idea to play back and bench Sanchez? I think I'd start Sanchez, and if his game doesn't get cancelled, then that's good because he's probably a better option this week. And then have Backman as the bench option, so if he doesn't play, then you just get Backman to play anyway. Ronaldo to Watkins, Gundogan to Foden, and Mbeumo to Bowen. I definitely agree with Mbeumo to Bowen. I'm not sure about Gundogan to Foden and Ronaldo to Watkins. I do think holding Ronaldo this game week is the play. Obviously, we aren't a Ronaldo owner currently, but if we did have him in the squad, we'd probably hold him this week because he's going to be good to go for the game weeks after this one, and he's got some very good fixtures coming up. So I think I just tank the points for 1 week, use a bench player there, and then bring it back in for the next game because he's been in very good form recently, and he's got obviously incredible fixtures to come. Thomas, FPL Fanatics, isn't the deadline extended to a day later? I don't believe so. I'll have a look.
Wow, imagine that actually is.
I don't believe so. At the moment, there's still games tomorrow with Norwich Villa and also City Leeds, or this evening, depending on where you are. There was obviously that fixture postponement with United and Brentford, which did see the deadline get pushed back, I believe, but it is not pushed back a day at this stage. I still think there's games on. Is Sterling a good option? Plenty of YouTubers want to bring him in. Yeah, he's definitely a nice shout. He's been in some good form at the minute. We'll check him out real quick. Raheem Sterling, 53 points. I know he's been in good form recently. 2 goals, 1 assist in his last 3. Coming off a double-digit haul in Game Week 16. Keep in mind that was a very fortunate goal in Game Week 16. Probably not a penalty against Wolves. Well, it wasn't a penalty against Wolves, and he obviously takes penalties for them. Leeds, Newcastle, Leicester, Brentford, no doubt very good fixtures. It's just whether you want to spend the extra money on him or just go for Bernardo Silva. Otherwise, I still think Sterling is one of the best premium options at the moment because you got Salah, you got Ronaldo, but his fixture's postponed this week. You could go for Mane, but everyone's probably got Jota instead. KDB's not a good choice. Kane's not a good choice. Son's probably not the best choice either. So Sterling is definitely a viable premium option. But personally, I'm happy just to go with those mid-price City midfielders like Bernardo or Foden or Gundogan, depending on who you've got on the side. Who do you reckon should be the new Arsenal captain? I don't know. I think you could go for most experienced player. So, I mean, once Aubameyang's back, you could just go for Aubameyang. He's been playing for a while. Or you could go for goalkeeper Ramsdale. Maybe he's been good. I don't really know. Not too concerned, to be honest. I'm sure they'll decide that one. Do you think it's worth for a -4 to replace Reece James? It's probably not the most ideal because Reece James is such a good player. I think taking a -4 for him may be a bit excessive. I saw some messages that City game might be off. Yeah, there is some potential about a postponement there. I don't believe anything's been confirmed at this current stage. Leeds United versus City still going ahead as rumours swirl. Interesting. Well, I think it may still go ahead. There is a lot of rumours around it. Hopefully it still goes ahead. With all these COVID issues, FPL should be giving an additional transfer. Yeah, FPL's been very hectic at the minute. It's tough to, adjudicate it, especially if you're managing FPL, like whether you get free transfers with players that have COVID-related fixtures or what's happening with Gameweeks and stuff like that. But we had it all of last season, so I guess we're lucky in a sense that it hasn't been as bad this season. We just got to try our best to adapt to the situation. Would Man United game on the weekend also be postponed? On the weekend, do you mean Game Week 18? It's nice. I'll look at Game Week 18. for them. Saturday, I think we'll have to see. Actually, we'll have to see about that one. That's a way to say. I'm playing him and Bernardo double up. Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully for you, then the City game stays on if you're the double up in Man City. Does anyone know if Alan will start as Mbeumo's out for me? I'll check for you. The fix predicted lineup for Everton. They've got Alan at a 52% chance to start. Otherwise, Tavares, so could be Gomez starting there. But it looks like the middle two is going to be Alan and Takure. So I think you should be okay there. Should be okay. Ahmed, one last question. My dilemma: Antonio, Watkins, Walker, bench 1. It's tough. I think Watkins got a very good fixture this week. So does Kyle Walker. I guess Leeds without Bamford as well. You could go Watkins and Walker, or Walker and Antonio. I think I'd start Walker for sure, and then a personal preference whether it's Antonio Watkins. I'd probably go. I go Walker Antonio, I reckon. Tony off Watkins in, yep, not a bad play if you've got all your other transfers have been sorted out in your team. I think, lads, I said this before in the previous stream, with your transfer planning, make sure the priority transfers are on the players that aren't or confirmed not to play this week or are likely to be out with injury for the next couple of games. I want to replace Gundogan with Bernardo and do Sterling instead of Rashford. I mean, so you could go for a double up in City. It's plausible. I think there could be a lot of managers doing that play, actually. Aubameyang has been stripped of the captaincy due to disciplinary conduct. Well, in that case, I mean, it's just going to go to the most senior player, most likely in their team. Can you check if Gundogan will play? Yes. According to Fix, they've got Gundogan at a 62% chance to start. So, obviously with those numbers, you'd expect him to play. Gundogan will not play. As Guardiola mentioned, he was coming back issue. Yes, it's true, but generally Fix are decent with their lineup. I think the main competition for him is De Bruyne, because I believe he should be good to go. Obviously, Gundogan's been in decent form, so we'll have to see there. It could potentially be closer to 50-50 with Gundogan than what Fix is saying. Start Mendy or Sanchez. I'd probably go for Mendy this week. I think just Chelsea's defence is nice. And Everton have obviously struggled recently. Ronaldo and Mbeumo to Watkins and Foden. Bring Bowen in next week. Personally, I just go Mbeumo to Bowen this week and save the Ronaldo transfer. And then start Ronaldo next week as well. Depending on whether United miss 1 or 2 games. Should I do Foden to Rafinha for a -4? Probably not. I think Foden's probably a better option than Rafinha at the moment. And Rafinha's got harder fixtures than Phil. Okay, I'm in a dilemma here. I can place Sissoko and Williams in place of Mbeumo Ronaldo. Should I take a -4 from Mbeumo to Bowen, as I was going to get him out next game, like I did early transfer to Bernardo Silva already? Well, if you're just going to get rid of Mbeumo next week anyway, then you might as well just bring him Bowen. I did Wilson to Watkins, hope it works out. Yeah, I think Watkins is definitely a good option. He's got incredible fixtures coming up, and he could be one that's coming to our squad as well. If we're looking at our transfer plans right now, we've got Tony here. I'm happy to have him there for Southampton and Brighton. That's nice. I can keep him for that. After those two, we can look to bring in Watkins. He's got, Norwich, Burnley. That's not great timing because he's going to be coming back in against Chelsea at home. But then after that, Leeds away, Brentford away, United, Everton, That's just a very good extended run of fixtures. He's been in alright form recently. He's got 2 goals in his last 5. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. If he can start putting the returns on, especially in the next 2 weeks, he's got a good opportunity against Norwich and Burnley. If he can get some points in those 2 games, then I do think he's going to be a transfer target for our squad. And obviously we've got, 4.4 million in the bank, so you can pretty much afford anyone in the game that we like to at the moment. Those on the horizon of a transfer at the minute. We can check Chelsea. I mean, it's not bad. Rudiger's still doing well for me. He got 9 points in Gameweek 16. The Chelsea defence has been a bit out of sorts. So maybe if they stop getting as many clean sheets, it could be Rudiger to depart. And we could even go another City defender, depending on how they're going. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with this team. We've just bought Dennis in. He's got a decent extended run of fixtures. Bowen and Antonio both have got good fixtures as well. And depending on whether Diogo Jota can keep starting for us, I don't really think he's going to depart the squad. So at the minute, I'm fairly happy with the team. The only one that's on the horizon of a transfer is Tony. We could go upgrade Livramento to a premium defender as well, but I think it could be worthwhile just holding the money in the bank if a premium forward option does become viable for us. Whether Ronaldo can get some points, he could be a nice premium shout, or Sterling, as a couple of people have been saying. We could go Jota to Sterling as well. Foden or Bernardo Silva? I personally think Bernardo Silva is a better option. It's Tony plus 0.9 mil in the bank. I mean, you could go Watkins. Definitely could go Watkins. Hey, what about Semedo against Brighton? Should I switch to Diaz, for example? There is a bit of rumours about whether the Wolves and Brighton game goes ahead. So there was some COVID rumours with Brighton. I mean, personally, being a Wolves fan, I'm seeing this game. It's just seems like the biggest 0-0 game of all time, Brighton v Wolves. So there is potential for a clean sheet there. Is a -8 worth it? Ronaldo, Rashford, and Mbeumo to Watkins, Jota, and KDB/Sterling/Foden. Ronaldo, Rashford, and Mbeumo to Watkins, Jota. It's definitely not a bad move. It's definitely not a bad move. You just got to hope that the City game doesn't get postponed, because there were some rumours about that one getting postponed as well, because you don't want to take a huge -8 and then 2 of your players not play. Or 1 of your players not play there. Rashford to Jota, I think, is a good transfer alone. I think you could be happy with that. Rashford to Jota is a good transfer by itself. And then Ronaldo, I'd be happy to tank the points this week and bring him back in, because he's been that good that you just can't get rid of him if you've got him right now. And then in terms of Mbeumo is also a good one to get rid of, so you could just go Mbeumo out and one of those City players in, whether that be Bernardo Silva or KDB Sterling Foden, depending on how much money you got there. Do I take out the money from my defence to get a 5th mid in Gallagher, so that I have Salah, Jota, Silva, Bowen, Gallagher? That's a great midfield. It just depends on the defence. You've still got Trent, James, Cancelo in defence. I mean, it could be worthwhile if you're just going to have 3 defenders, play 3 defenders every week, go 3-5-2, then it could be worthwhile. It just depends, what defender you're going to get rid of from that team. Should I sell Ronaldo for Watkins? Seems to be a very common question at the moment. I feel like it's going to be a big transfer play that people make. It really depends on how many games United could be missing with this issue, whether they're going to miss 2 weeks like 2 fixtures. I think Real, if they're going to miss 1 fixture, then it could be worth holding Ronaldo. If they're going to miss 2 or more, I'd make the move to Watkins. I will not be taking out Jota anytime soon since he'll be in Liverpool's main man once South African starts. Yep. Fair enough. Best Embuemo replacement. Okay, yeah. So you could go Bowen. You could go Bernardo. I'm assuming you have Jota. Gallagher's not bad. Or you could even go for an Arsenal midfielder as well, whether it be Saka or Smith Rowe or Odegaard. All those are fairly decent options around that price. I'm liking Bowen at the moment if you don't have Bowen. We do have him in our team. Producing some great underlying stats. Decent form. Got a goal and assist against Chelsea. Otherwise not a huge amount recently. But he did look fairly good in Gameweek 16 against Burnley from watching that match. I think he's just passed the eye test there. And look at these fixtures. After Arsenal away, Norwich, Southampton, Watford, Palace, Leeds. Doesn't get much better than that in terms of fixtures. Best replacement for De Gea, I'd say Ramsdale. This is best replacement. Decent fixtures. We'll look at Arsenal's fixtures. West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves. A very good batch of 3 there. City's difficult. Spurs, it's okay. Burnley, and then Wolves again. So up until Game Week 24, very nice fixtures there. We'll have to see what happens there in Game Week 25. But I think, yeah, you could save a bit of money on him. He's got, 70 points so far at 5 mil. Similar price to De Gea. Fairly high ownership as well, 15%. Actually, he's the 3rd highest scoring keeper there. Coming off 11 points last week. Cheap replacement for Embuemo, Gallagher, Bowen, expenses. Yeah, fair. Aston Villa and City also in doubt of COVID. Hold your horses. Yeah, the City game potentially, and from what I've heard, Brighton game. I haven't heard anything but the Villa game. Should I take a -4 considering I have Darlow and no other defender playing and Allen is a doubt? Fix have actually got Allen at a 52% chance to start, so I wouldn't be surprised if he could take to the pitch in this one. But -4, especially for Darlow, you're not going to be able to get a huge player around that price, and maybe Soufal could be worth it around that price. Thoughts on Sterling? His stats in the last 2 games are better than Salah. Yeah, he's obviously producing good underlying numbers. It's just, you could just go for the cheaper options in like Foden, Bernardo, Gundogan. I mean, it's a fairly fortunate 11 points for him in Game Week 16. But yeah, he definitely could be a good premium option. No doubt about that one. Downgraded to Alonso to 8 Norrie. Watching him against City, Norrie was really good, and Wolves do keep quite a lot of clean sheets. Yeah, 8 Norrie's been immense for the Wolves recently. Very, very impressive. And I mean, for that reason, he could get on those bonus points as well, because Wolves are getting a fair few clean sheets and just not conceding many. Højbjerg in the mid, along with Salah, Jota, Bernardo, and Smith Rowe looks explosive for me. What do you think? I don't know about Højbjerg. I don't rate him for an FPL asset, or just in general. Bowen, Gallagher, if you can't. Should I sacrifice Ronaldo to get rid of Rafinha or Brownhill for Bernardo, Foden, or Bowen? We have to sacrifice Ronaldo just to go Rafinha to Bowen. I think you should be okay for that transfer. You can just go Rafinha to Bowen, could be the play there. Should I take a -4 considering Darlow and other defender players? Yeah, I answered that before. Would you sell Ronaldo if you could field 10 players, most of them with very good fixtures? Well, it just depends, like how many more players will you be able to field by selling Ronaldo? Is it just one, or you'll be able to like make multiple transfers with that play? Get back to me. Armstrong to not play. I'll check that one for you. Southampton game. Adam Armstrong. I'm assuming, do you mean Adam Armstrong? Because they've got him at a 50% chance. I believe. No, they've got him at a 26% chance to start Armstrong, so it looks like he will miss. Most likely. Man City game postponed. Has it been announced yet? I don't know if it's been confirmed. I just know there's rumours about it. If it has been confirmed, let me know also, because it is tough to manage team news and also the live stream at the same time. So if anyone has news on that, let me know. Is it a good idea to get both Foden and Bernardo? They're sort of competing for a similar spot, so I'd just go one, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're just risking a lot of rotation there. Ronaldo, Brownhill, Watkins, Gallagher. Again, it's the Ronaldo, the Watkins transfer. If you're going up from Brownhill up to Gallagher, it could be a good move. I think it's just interesting with Gallagher to see what position that he plays, because it seems just to be changing game by game what position he's in. And his points have just been totally dictated whether he plays Cam or CDM, which he just seems to be rotating between. How about Watkins and Antonio? Both very good options. We've got Antonio in the side, obviously. Watkins is probably going to be the next transfer target apart from Tony, as I touched on before. Watkins v Ings v Pookie. I'm liking Watkins out of those three. How about Lukaku against Everton? Isn't he a good option for this game week? I think you just want to see him put points on the board first, is the main thing with Lukaku. As you say, especially when you're spending the big money on the premium players, you want to see them in nice form. Especially for premium players, you can't just be going for the punts with them because you're spending so much money on them. You like to see them in gun form. Can you see for me if Sterling is rumoured to start and how much percent? Yes, so Sterling has got, according to Fix, a 54% chance to start. I think it's probably higher than that personally, just based on form. What day is he playing as well? He's the early one, yeah. So he's obviously, the thing with him is the rest, but based on form, you'd like him. In his position, competition from Jesus and Mahrez. Mahrez also may start instead of him, but 54% he's got the slight majority, so you like him for that one. Should I take a -4 Ronaldo to maybe Kane or Antonio? I'm liking Antonio more than Kane there, just because Kane's not been in good form, even against Norwich at home. He's not returning, so if he's not getting returns against those lads, then I'm not seeing him getting too much. So I'm liking Antonio there. Start Antonio or Smith Rowe, they play each other. Yes, I think Smith Rowe on form could be better in this one. And he's got the home fixture as well. It probably gives him the slight edge. But that's definitely one that could go either way. Maybe Smith Rowe based on form. It's the one I'd say for me. Wolves will surely keep a clean sheet this game week, and Crystal Palace clean sheet is also flying under radar. Yeah, I said before, being a Wolves fan, I'm expecting Wolves Brighton to be a 0-0. It just seems to have 0-0 written all over it. Wolves haven't scored many and they haven't conceded many. Brighton also don't concede too many either, and they've only scored, I believe, 2 or 3 in their last 5 matches, Brighton, and Wolves have scored 1 in their last 6. So that'd be low scoring. And then Southampton as well, not been the greatest from an attacking standpoint, so I can see Palace there. How about Vardy? He's also one for a premium option. I'm not liking his fixtures though. I did check his fixtures earlier today. Spurs, Everton, City, Liverpool. It's not ideal. It's definitely not ideal. And he's one that could get rested a fair bit just because he's an old lad. And there's plenty of games coming up. So I think next 4 weeks, hold off him. And then if you can find form later on, maybe go from there. But I think potentially better premium options than him at the moment. Since COVID is spreading again, is it wise to have players from different teams that tell triple up? Yeah, it's not a bad angle actually. It's definitely something to consider for a lot of managers, is the risk of the double up / triple up. I think a lot of people will have a Liverpool triple up, which is probably viable. Otherwise, amongst other teams, you could go for City with a double up. We've gone double up West Ham as well. So we've got 7 players from 3 teams. We did make all these transfers before the COVID news came in, so definitely is something to think about for teams to build up the diversity in clubs. Antonio, I have Ramsdale in goal, James, Trent, Alonso in defence, Bowen, Jota, Salah, Bernardo Silva, and Foden in midfield, and Dennis and Davis for the 0-pointer, Ronaldo, Darlow, and Cancelo on the bench. Oh, that is a very strong bench. That's quite unlucky this week. Would you sell Ronaldo, given I'm probably going to set for next week too if Brighton game gets called off? Also, I'm already on a -4 hit. I mean, it depends if Ronaldo's going to miss 1 or 2 games. If he's going to miss 1 game, I'm more than happy just to hold Ronaldo. Personally, if I had Ronaldo, I'd hold him. Gameweek 17, Mendy, Trent, James, Rudiger, Tomiyasu, Salah, Bowen, Gallagher, Bernardo Silva, Rafinha, King. Should I play Vardy instead of King? King also got Burnley away, and Leicester have Spurs at home. I'm liking King against Burnley away, personally. King's been putting up good underlying numbers, and it's probably a better fixture. Conte just plays defensive boring football. Should I take a -4 to take out Smith Rowe to Bowen? I definitely wouldn't take out Smith Rowe, especially for a -4 at the moment. I think I'd be happy with Smith Rowe starting in the side this week. Take a -4 to get a playing keeper in. Another position that I wouldn't be keen to take a -4 in personally. I think it's just for keepers. The main returns there are the clean sheet, and if they get 4 points for the clean sheet, and then you just take a -4, removes the clean sheet totally. I'm assuming you're talking about De Gea. I'd be happy just to hold him and play him next week. Also, lads, there's only 100 people in the stream. We are 20 subs away from 7k. If we could hit 7k subs on stream, that'd be so sick. It's always nice to hit those huge sub goals on stream. So if you guys haven't already and you're enjoying the content, consider giving it a subscribe, okay? What do you think about Livramento? 75% chance to play to Walker. He's guaranteed to play as Cancelo is missing. 100%. Might be also a good move in the long term, as either he plays full 90 or not at all. That's actually true. It's a very true point. Fix have got Kyle Walker at a 100% chance to start, so you're definitely right about that one. I can tell you about Livramento. Fix have actually got him at a 100% chance to start. So they're very confident that he'll take to the pitch this week, which is very interesting. I wouldn't have expected it to be the full 100%. But they've obviously got some good information on it, so trust them. I'm assuming you have Cancelo as well. If you have Cancelo as well, then they maybe a bit of spot competition there. But if you're going to get rid of Cancelo, then maybe Kyle Walker, not a bad shout. But I think with Livramento being good to play this week, maybe just hold the transfer. Based on that, I wasn't quite expecting it to be 100%. Noah, I have 10 million and need a defender. I'm thinking Rudiger, good choice. There's a lot of money to have in the bank. I mean, first of all, I'd have Trent. If you don't have Trent, then get Trent if you've got 10 mil. And Rudiger is probably one of the best Chelsea defensive assets at the moment. Just because he's getting those consistent starting minutes. Still a decent batch of fixtures. Everton have been poor recently. Wolves don't score many. Villa have been okay, and Brighton don't score too many either. So I can see him being a good shout. He's one of the better premium defenders at the moment. Since I got priced out of Mbeumo and Tony to Gallagher and Watkins, would you do Mbeumo to Gallagher or Tony to Watkins? It's a very good question. I'll probably go Tony to Watkins just because a bit of uncertainty about Gallagher's positioning. And Watkins has got longer term, stronger fixtures than Gallagher. You could also do Embuemo to Bowen. But I'm assuming you might be priced out of that as well. Do you think Emil Smith-Rowe gets his place back ahead of Martinelli / Odegaard? Could be ahead of Martinelli. He has been playing well. Let's keep that in mind. I actually probably check the predicted lineup here for Arsenal as well. Could be interesting to see what Fix have got for this game, because they've got a couple of players that normally get benched but are playing well. They've got him to take the spot over Martinelli. So they've got Smith-Rowe at a 97% chance to play, Odegaard at a 90% chance, and Saka at a 97% chance. So it looks like it's going to be those three. So yes, I would think Emil Smith-Rowe gets his place back. Pookie into Tony. I'm assuming like bringing Pookie in for Tony it's definitely a viable option. I mean, I'm liking Watkins at the moment. Is a -8 worth it? Just totally depends on the players you're bringing in. Livramento will start what? Yes, I was very surprised actually about that. According to Fix, they've got Livramento at a 100% chance to play against Palace, which is very interesting considering that he's got his leg injury. I didn't realise personally that it was going to be that high either. Jota, Foden starts. I do believe Jota will start in this game. He had a mini rest in terms of the fact that he didn't play the full 90. Already played 32 at the end of the game against Villa. So I think he should definitely be good to go. And Liverpool also have a decent rest. I believe they play on Friday or Thursday night if you're UK. Whether Foden will start, I think Foden's not as likely to start for City. According to Fix, Foden... Where is Foden here? They haven't actually got him in the predicted starting 11. No, they don't think that he's going to start. Interesting. I actually know that there are 43% chance to start. It is. So it looks like it's either going to be him or Grealish in left wing. They've got Grealish at 84% chance in left wing and Foden at a 43%. Plus a couple of other players tossed in there. So I think Jota's looking more likely to start, obviously. Hey, do I use my wildcard this week? I can transfer whoever I want. Which players do you think I should get? So you use your wildcard this week. I mean, it's kind of an awkward position for a wildcard because ideally you'd want Manchester United players based on their fixtures, but they're postponed this week. I think you just go triple Liverpool, Trent, Salah, Jota. I think it's compulsory. You go for Watkins and a Watford forward, and then you could go for... I mean, you could go for Ronaldo if you want to tank points, or you go for Antonio. In the midfield, Bowen, not a bad shout. You could go for Saka or Smith-Rowe, maybe even Gallagher in there as well, plus Bernardo. And then, obviously, Trent, compulsory. You could go for Ramsdale's an ideal keeper. A City defender and a Chelsea defender is probably that's the template I go for right now. And you can go for your personal preferences in there as well. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you how to make your whole entire team, but you can go for the differential plays that you like as well. Also, lads, the sub goal is taking a while to update, but it is slowly updating there as well. We are trying to hit 7k subs on stream. We're like 15 or so to go, 16 to go. Over 100 people watching. It'd be so sick if we could hit it on the stream. That'd be class. I have De Gea, Ronaldo, and Mbeumo and Foster and McCarthy are injured. Would you take a -8? I mean, with that many players out, probably worthwhile. Is holding Ronaldo this week smart? I think, depending on the fact whether United missed like 1 week or 2 weeks. I don't know if there's news on that at the moment, but if they missed 1 week, if I was owning Ronaldo, if they're just missing 1 week, I'd hold Ronaldo personally. But it just depends whether they are able to play for their match at Saturday Arvo, I believe, for UK time, or Saturday night, depending where you are. Is holding Ronaldo this week. Smart touch on that. Ramsdale, Trent, Alonso, Tomiyasu, Salah, Jordan, Gallagher, Rafinha, Bernardo Silva, Benteke, Dennis, Huang, Mankier, Cancelo. Any changes you think? If I can make a change in that team, it'd probably be Huang, because he's not even starting at the minute for Wolves, and he's not getting into too many attacking positions. Plus, Wolves have tricky fixtures, so you could make an upgrade there to a Watford forward. You've already got Dennis there currently, but you've only got 2 playing forward, so you can maybe go for the third playing forward. You could go up to Antonio if you have the money, or Watkins there as well. All Man City squad is fit apart from Soros, so good luck whoever you go for. Yeah, it's just preference on who's going to start. Where do you check the data? It's on Fantasy Football Fix. I believe it's a premium feature, but Fix are fairly accurate with that stuff. Yeah, they've generally been pretty good. We've used them a lot this season. I feel like just pretty good lineups, and they're fairly accurate. Pookie or Watkins for Ronaldo? I'm thinking Watkins there, bearing in mind that I'll have almost 12 playing players, including Smith Rowe, if I bring one of them in. So that means what? You have 11 if you got Ronaldo there. As I said before, depending on whether Ronaldo misses 1 week, I'd be confident in holding Ronaldo. If he's just going to miss 1 game and you've got 11 starting players anyway, I'm liking that decision just to hold the transfer. Differential, a good pick. Well, he's got a decent chance to start according to Fix, so I'm liking him. Best mid option beside Jota, Salah, Gallagher, Bernardo. Yeah, probably Smith Rowe, Bowen as well. Is putting up good underlying numbers. I'm liking those 2. Also Mount. That's a good point. Actually, forgot about Mount. Haven't been mentioning him. We've always been one to sort of steer clear of Mason Mount, but this season, looking like a gun option. He's been in great form as well. No Livramento will likely concede a goal, I think. He should be good to play, but whether he's going to get returns is another question. I mean, I'm just happy to take a blank from him rather than have no one play, personally. But I'm not expecting anything from him. I'm just expecting him to start, really. Is Mount now the best Chelsea asset? That's definitely a good question. I think it's got to be between Mount and Rudiger, with Rudiger's consistency in his starting minutes and his knack of getting some bonus points and a couple of cheeky returns here and there. Definitely a good discussion. What is a good defender pick below 5 mil? You know, one that I'm considering at the moment that's going under the radar, that's coming into some good fixtures. This man right here, Vladimir Sufal. He's been poor this year in terms of FPL points. He did have a long break out of the side with Ben Johnson there. He is coming off 6 points, Gameweek 16. Look at these fixtures for West Ham. I mean, it's just class fixtures till Gameweek 24 there. He can definitely get himself those attacking returns. He's got 2 assists this year, which is okay, but he was very good last year. We saw his attacking threat last year in terms of assists. So definitely not a bad shout for him at 4.7. Could be good value there. Just keep an eye on him. I'm calling it now. Just keep an eye on him. Could be a good shout. Starting possibility data. Yeah, that's the data that I'm talking about. The Fix provide the starting possibility stuff. Amongst other things, take a -4 or play St. Maximin. You got Liverpool away. I mean, you can pretty much book him in for a blank in this game. Unless you want to go like Watkins for a -4, could be worthwhile, and your squad's looking strong elsewhere. I think if you can secure, you got yourself like 10 or 11 starting players, I'll be happy with that transfer. But as I say before, maybe prioritise those transfers on the players that are going to miss out this week or going to miss out a couple of weeks with injury. Also, of course, if anyone has any news about postponed fixtures, it is tough for us to constantly track that stuff while also doing the live stream, so that'd be helpful if anyone has information on that stuff. What's your transfer plan? Will you play Livramento? I'll show you, lads, the starting lineup at the minute. It's going to be Sanchez, Trent, White, Rudiger, Livramento starting. Jota, Salah, Bernardo, Bowen, Dennis, Antonio. Bench. Tony's there. Cancelo's there. Sissoko, first bench position if Livramento doesn't play, or for whatever reason one of these players here don't play, whether there's a postponement in the game. I'm predicting worst case scenario, right? Say somehow Brighton game gets postponed, City game gets postponed, and Livramento doesn't play. It's 3 players not playing. Sissoko comes on for one of them. That's going to be 9 starting players, which isn't the worst thing in the world. And I do think our team, in comparison to a lot of other teams, if all those games get postponed, 9 starting players is not the worst. So, with that being said, I'm happy with this starting 11. I think I'm going to make a transfer this week. We did make 3 transfers last week. So I only got the 1 free transfer currently, so I'm more than happy just to roll that one, especially with a lot of fixtures coming up. Could be worthwhile just to have the extra flexibility in transfers. Probably bank the transfer this game. We can move forward to Tony next game week. Yeah, not a bad play. Or with 8.1 in the bank, could go for Antonio. Yeah, I think Antonio's a nice shout. You could do that. That'd be a transfer play. Holding to Antonio. Keep or sell Son. Let's have a better look at the Spursy fixtures. Leicester, Liverpool, next 2. And then it's decent after that. Next 2 games aren't great though. I think there's definitely better premium options than Son at the minute. Especially in midfield, you could go for Sterling. Obviously didn't play Gameweek 16, but was decent before that. With these next 2 fixtures, I mean, Leicester away. Actually not the worst fixture in my opinion, so maybe just keep him this week. See how he goes. I can see a lot of people getting frustrated with Spurs assets, but Son's been in good form at the minute. And Leicester away for Spurs, not bad, because Leicester have actually conceded a lot of goals recently. So I think hold on to him for now. What's the better goalkeeper for 6 mil? Well, who you got? Alisson, Mendy, and is it Edison there as well? I think based on fixtures, you could go for Edison. How much is Edison at the minute? 6.0. Yeah, I think based on fixtures, you would go for Edison. Ideally, you wouldn't want to spend 6 mil on a keeper. You could just go for Ramsdale, but if you were to go for one, then Edison would be the one. Looking at the poll as well, Salah's got... Salah's got 88% of the votes with 374 votes currently. That's a lot of people voting for him. Dennis or Wood for this game week? Probably go for Dennis. Will Lukaku start this week? I'll check that one. Chelsea game against Everton. Fix are predicting him to start. He's got a 68% chance to start, according to them. The only other one there is Havertz, is the 32% chance to start. So it's either him or Havertz. I mean, it's been a long time since Lukaku's actually got to start. Like, he's been good to start for a couple of weeks now, and he's just not getting minutes. But I think, surely now he's a good option to start for them. Ronaldo to Watkins and Mbeumo to Foden. Definitely a popular transfer plan a lot of people are going to be doing. If it frees up the cash like that, it's not a bad play, but it's just, Ronaldo's been that good at the moment. You can maybe hold just to... depends on how many other starting players you have on the side there. I've got Antonio and Bowen. Should I start Mendy or Ramsdale? I'd start Mendy for sure. Everton at home, I think that's got a clean sheet written all over. I think Everton have been pretty poor recently, so I'm liking that one. Vardy to Antonio, yeah, I like it. Definitely a good transfer play. I played my free hit this week, so I'm feeling pretty okay. Well, I guess that is definitely one way to navigate the tricky fixtures. And if you've got a lot of players out, then you may literally just be forced into playing your free hit. If you've got like 6+ players out, you're just going to take a massive red arrow. So, not a bad idea depending on how many players you're missing. Aubameyang not going to be able to play. Interesting. Help, I've got... Well, that could mean that Martinelli plays instead of Aubameyang. And then Odegaard goes into striker or Smith Rowe. Something that could be a weird formation. Help, I've got Ramsdale, James, Alonso, Trent, Rafinha, Brownhill, Salah, Pukki, King. Not playing or injured. Ronaldo, Rashford, and Mbeumo, Duffy, Cancelo, Foster. What should I do with one free transfer? I'll get rid of Mbeumo and probably Rashford. Be my 2 guys that I get rid of, and I'd hold Ronaldo and Cancelo and Foster and Duffy. I go. Who you got there? You could go Rashford to Bernardo Silva or Foden, and Mbeumo to Bowen or a Smith Rowe or a Saka or a Gallagher. Sell Smith Rowe for Jota. If you don't have Jota already, it's not a bad option to have in the squad, that's for sure. But I still think Smith Rowe is a nice shout. Check Arsenal's fixtures coming out. West Ham, Leeds, Norwich. It's a very nice next 3, so you could hold potentially on Smith Rowe there. Antonio or Watkins for Ronaldo. Difficult decision. I'd be leaning towards Antonio. He's a bit more expensive. You've got to spend the extra cash for him, but he looked decent against Burnley. And he's got decent fixtures coming up. Both very good fixtures coming up. But we've seen Antonio put it on the board this year, which makes it tempting for him. And Mbeumo replacements, touched on that one before with Gallagher, Bowen, Saka, Smith Rowe, even Odegaard, Bernardo Silva. If you want to spend a little bit more money, / Foden. Lads, 6 more subs to go till we get 7k. Can we hit it on stream? That'd be class. It does take a little bit to update though as well. So if you guys are enjoying the content, that'd be so cool if we could hit 7k subs on stream. The running pharmacist says Diaz to Cancelo next game week. Is it a worthy move if there are no other problems in the team to solve? Yes, definitely. King or Dennis? Lost that 4 times. Well, this is a dilemma we had, right? King's got better underlying numbers, but Dennis is putting those FPL points up. At this point, it's really personal preference. I think if you've at this point, what's it, AFCON around Jan 16 or so Gameweek 22, somewhere around there. So based on the next 5 weeks, it's tough to say really. I mean, we've got Dennis, so I have to say Dennis, but King is arguably better just based on underlying stats. Should I take a hit to get rid of Ronaldo? I think he's only going to miss 1 week, so I'll probably hold on to him, especially for a hit. I don't know if that's worthwhile. I think I'd focus on making sure the rest of the team's are good to go and then just bench Ronaldo. Is Spurs match going to happen? I believe that's the case. I haven't heard too much on the Spurs game. Currently. So, if anyone has any news in the Spurs game, let me know. But I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about it being postponed. Lads, there it is. 7k on stream. That's class. Round of applause. That's actually class, lads. Thank you so much for 7k. It's been quite a while off the gap between 6k and 7k, but it's actually so sick to hit on stream. Thanks to everyone that's subscribed. Thanks to everyone that's tuning in. It's so good that you've all backed us in for 7k. That's actually such an achievement. Thank you, lads. That's really class. Foden or Bernardo? We've got Bernardo Silva. I'm liking Bernardo at the minute. Save a little bit of money there as well. Lukaku and Antonio for this week only on a free hit. I'm nervous Lukaku won't get starting minutes or won't play the full 90. We'll go Antonio. I'm going to go Antonio. Just because it can be a little bit 50-50 whether Lukaku's going to start. I've only got Ronaldo not playing in my team with Livramento as my first sub. Would you roll the transfer? Yeah, I think I'd roll the transfer as a good idea. What's your plan with Sanchez? We'll check out his fixtures. I mean, at this point, right, I'm just happy holding on to him. I'm not too concerned with the keeper transfer. The only keeper that I'd look to bring in is Ramsdale. With these fixtures, which is sort of similar in a sense to Sanchez. How many points does Sanchez have this year? 50. So Ramsdale has outscored him by 20 this season. I think for now, I'm happy to hold on to him and focus on other transfers in the side. I'm hoping that he does play this week. There was news about the Brighton game getting postponed, but I'm hoping that he plays. '70s FFL, how are you? Good yourself? I have De Gea and Buemo and 3 City assets. Foden, Diaz and Cancelo with 0.9 in the bank and 1 free transfer. What would you recommend? I'd probably get rid of Buemo with 1 free transfer. 0.9 in the bank. How much is Buemo at the moment? I'm assuming you've built up value in him as well. At EU, isn't it? Is it 5.5? I don't know if you... I'm assuming you're not going to be able to afford Bowen. It's not great. He's sort of at an awkward price where it's difficult to go up. I mean, how much is Smith Rowe right now? 6. You could go to Smith Rowe. Maybe that's the idea. You could go to Smith Rowe. That could be the potential transfer there for you. Smith Rowe tipped to be benched. Well, he's got a 97% chance to start, according to Fix. I'm thinking he should take his spot back off Martinelli, despite Martinelli playing fairly well recently. I'm Aussie, so I won't be up for deadline. Say, mate, Gallagher or risk it with Bernardo, the risk of postponement. I'm assuming you have both of them in the starting squad, or are you looking to transfer in Gallagher? If you got both of them in the starting squad, then I'll just start Bernardo, because if the fixture goes ahead, then Bernardo's going to score points, hopefully. And if it doesn't, then you just have him get benched and Gallagher come off the bench. I'm wondering the same. Do you think there's more chance Lukaku will play as it's against his ex-team? That's, I guess, something to take into consideration. He's got a 68% chance to start, but Havertz has been playing a lot of games recently where Lukaku could have easily been playing. So I'm wondering whether Havertz just plays again in this one. What's your plan with Tony? Yeah, so it's most likely going to be hold Gameweek 18-19 for Southampton Brighton. Or if he doesn't return 18, then I'd be more than happy just to get rid of him for 19, bring in Ollie Watkins. I think Ollie Watkins at this stage, unless anything changes, is the most likely replacement for Tony. We do have 5.4 in the bank, so we get rid of Tony, we have 12. I don't think that's enough to go to Ronaldo. He's 12.5. Vardy's not really a target on the list at the minute, and I'm not interested in any of these forwards here. So it's probably going to be Watkins as a likely replacement, I reckon, in 1 to 2 weeks. Same De Gea Foster situation. Upgrade Foster to backman for 1 or 2 weeks, or just replace De Gea. You could go Foster to backman if you're willing to make a transfer on the keeper. I wouldn't replace De Gea. Unless you just go De Gea to Ramsdale's the only viable option, I guess, there with him. Foden and Bernardo to start. How many percent? Bernardo's got 71% chance. Foden's got 43% chance. Fixture got him out. Watkins and Foden or Dennis and Sterling? Already have King. Watkins and Foden in that case. A double Watford forward line. I mean, it's a possibility, but you're definitely going to have to making transfers down the line for one, if not both of them, when their fixtures swing. Alonso to Robertson or Jimenez to Firmino or Jimenez to Watkins for now. Probably Jimenez to Watkins. I wouldn't be keen on bringing in Firmino. Probably, yeah, Jimenez to Watkins is definitely a good transfer. That'd be the one I do. Leave Alonso to Robertson alone. Is Ings worth bringing in? If I could go one, I'd go for Watkins just because he's been in better form. De Gea, Trent, Diaz, Alonso, Salah, Jota, Bowen, Foden, Benteke, Dennis, Watkins, subs, Foster, and Webber, McKenna, Cancelo. Is Man U and Brentford game postponed? 0.9 in the bank and 1 free transfer. I mean, it's a De Gea. I mean, you can leave that team, honestly. You could go De Gea to Ramsdale if you wanted the full 11. But otherwise, I think you should be good for the full starting 11. So you should be good with 10 starting players, which is fine. Darlow out, White in. Definitely a possibility. Worth a free hit. 3 players out for me, including Cancelo and Ronaldo. I think if you have Cancelo and Ronaldo out, a lot of other managers are going to have those players out as well, so it's not really a huge concern. Cancelo's got to be one of the highest owned defenders in the game with a 34%. We'll just check that real quick. See, third highest owned defender in FPL. Especially amongst live teams as well, I can imagine that'd be very high, so I'd be happy just to not use the free hit there, especially for just 3 players. Maybe hold off. Sanchez probably has COVID is the news, right? Well, in which case, it's not a great fixture this week against Wolves. Not a great fixture next week against Manchester United away. I don't know if it's been confirmed yet, or if it's just rumours. I heard there was rumours about the Brighton game. And yeah, there is rumours about City game as well. But nothing confirmed yet whether it's going to start. It's just... You just don't know. I mean, personally, it's just... You just don't know what's going to happen. Diaz in for Livramento. Definitely a worthwhile upgrade. Yeah, and as we said before, if the City game gets postponed, that's just unlucky. Mane or Jota and Sterling or Foden for 1 game with free hit. Maybe Jota Sterling? Yeah, Jota Sterling could be a good play there. Do you think it's a possibility that either Foden or De Bruyne will come into give Silva a rest? Definitely a possibility. I was thinking about that before because Silva's getting a lot of minutes in the Prem. And normally he just gets rested midweek for Champions League. But now there's a game midweek. There definitely is a possibility that Bernardo Silva doesn't play. I have considered that, but I'm happy just with starting him for now. But yes, definitely a possibility. Is it true Man City got COVID outbreak as well? There's rumours about it, but whether it means the game's going to get postponed or not, I'm not sure. No, as I said before, nothing's been confirmed on that one. Jota in, Smith Rowe out. Or Broja out, King in. all this with a -4. I'm happy to keep Smith Rowe if I'm you in that situation. You could go King in for Broja. Free hit, could you give me the option for 3 Man City players? What do you think about that? Triple Man City, I don't know. I'm not sure about it. If I could go for 3 City players, well, Cancelo's out, so you could just go for Walker. But it is potential that Cancelo's just going to come back and replace Walker. Then I go Bernardo, and then you can maybe go Sterling or Foden. But I'd probably just go 2 City. I think 3 City is risking a lot of rotation there. Best budget defenders to upgrade Livramento Johnson. Yes, you could go like a 4.5 Arsenal defender. Or as I touched on before, you could go Sufal, a 4.7. Also a nice budget shout. Definitely worth a consideration. Arsenal got good fixtures coming up as well. What website are you using for the starting percentage? Fantasy Football Fix is that one. You can also use our code for 60% off Premium Fix. It's in the description. 65% off Premium Fix, my bad. In the description, where you can get that feature. It's a premium feature, the starting percentage. What would you do with Gundogan if you had him and no Foden or Silva? I'd be happy just to hold him for now. I believe he had like a 50% chance to start, but I think he will start. I think he's more likely than 50%. So I'd be happy just to keep him. It's not ideal to just go Gundogan to Bernardo Silva or Foden if you're thinking about that. Want to bring in either Bernardo or Foden this week? What do you reckon? Basically a decision between form and stats at the moment. Yeah, it's true. I'd go Bernardo just because he's recording points, and it's the similar situation with Dennis, where it's just like they don't have insane underlying stats, but they're just putting out big FPL points. Bernardo Silva actually has a lot of shots on target, which is his main stat. He's got a very high amount of shots on target. I think he's in like top 5 for shots on target in the last 5 or so weeks, I believe. Who should I take in for my Tony? I'd go Watkins or Antonio. If you got 1 mil, then Watkins. What's your best dream team for Gameweek 17? Must-have players. Okay, so I'd have triple Liverpool. I'm happy with Seliger to Trent. I'd have a City player there for Leeds at home. Ideally, Watkins has got a good fixture this week. Probably Ramsdale in goals is fine for now. What else will we have? Gallagher's got a decent fixture. You could go for Gallagher, depending on his positioning. Otherwise, I think this team's decent. You could go a midfielder in the West Ham versus Arsenal game, whether it be Bowen or Smith Rowe or someone. And I'm liking a Watford forward this week. But I think looking at our team, that the players that I not want to have this week would be Tony, not Livramento, probably not White. I'd be happy to just go for the Arsenal keeper. Otherwise, nothing hugely differential. I think maybe Watkins would be the most differential player. Do you know any former playing defender that I could use? Not sure at the minute. I know Williams is about as close as it gets. If he's started, I haven't really been keeping tabs on those cheap defenders who's been getting starting minutes there, to be fair. Sterling or Foden more likely to start. At the moment, Sterling's got a more likely chance of starting. And he's been in good form as well, so hopefully Pep just sees or recognises that and gets him more minutes. I have 7.8 mil for a mid. I have Bernardo, Jota, Saliga. Who would you get? I'm thinking Mount or Gallagher. Southampton missing first team keeper. Yeah, I agree with you there. Yeah, it's it's your pick between Mount and Gallagher. I'm not going to tell you specifically who to go for. I mean, Mount is more likely to play in a more attacking position. Just the doubts whether Gallagher plays CDM or Cam is annoying. Which two should I play out of Lamptey, Antonio, and Rafinha? Probably Lamptey and Antonio. I'm liking those two. Who would you choose, Watkins or Ings? Probably Watkins. I could save my free hit if I do a -8. Ronaldo for Watkins and Gilmore for Bernardo Silva. Definitely, I think a -8 is worth taking instead of using your entire free hit token just gone for the season. Is it okay for triple City? I think it's not. I'd go for double City at most, personally, especially with these doubts about this fixture postponement. But I'm assuming you'll have like at least a double up or triple up on Liverpool as well. So, as someone said before, I can't remember who it was, but with the fixtures coming up, and been like obviously with COVID happening at the moment, if one team doesn't play and you've got a triple up of that team, that can be quite detrimental to the, just your overall starting XI. So I think I'm happy with 2 City players max at the moment.
Come back in here once you're getting food. Come back. Alright. Chat, you've been taken over by me. Let's fix this sub goal up again, shall we? Sub goal's taken, I don't know. It's been really weird. It's not updating properly. I'm not sure what I've gone up to in chat, but we'll just hope for the best. Is it okay for triple City players? It depends what your triple City players are. If they're going to be Bernardo Cancelo, then yes. If you're thinking Sterling, I'm not sure. It's going to be quite inconsistent, I reckon. Ronaldo to Watkins for -4. Oh no, Ronaldo's coming to decent fixtures. So where is he? Like probably till Gameweek 27. That is looking very nice in my opinion. So I'm not sure if it's the best. What's Watkins looking like? Norwich, Burnley. I reckon they're pretty similar. Watkins really has got good fixtures till really Gameweek 37. Yeah, potentially Watkins also differential. Should I remove Foden, Bernardo, or Diaz, and who should I replace them with? I would remove Foden and possibly replace with Jared Bowen if you haven't got him already. Should I bring Rudy for Livramento? Yep. I'll bring him. Is it easier to go for Antonio or Watkins considering I have Bowen? We'll go for Watkins on that one. Would you hold De Gea with so much uncertainty? Yes, I would definitely hold De Gea. Unless you want to get Ramsdale in.
Yeah, unless you want to get Aaron Ramsdale in. All in capitals, there is a COVID outbreak in the City camp. Is that true? I'll have a look if that's actually factual or not. Put some rumours. Looking at the COVID map right now. There's a large amount of COVID cluster in Manchester. In Edinburgh, nothing's really up there though.
in Birmingham. I Yeah, but there is a cluster in Manchester though. Don't know if it's in the city camp, but do I keep Benteke for the next few fixtures? What has Benteke's got? Yeah, I'll probably keep Benteke till game week 20. Thoughts on Crystal Palace defence? Mitchell at left back or Kiyate playing midfield? But classifies defender. Will Kiyate get points though is a thing. I don't really see Tyreek Mitchell doing anything, to be honest. I mean, it's only going to be for 4 weeks, so I'm going to say no. Mount or Bowen, got Antonio. I'll go Mason Mount. Which clubs of the Man City Man United camp that are rumoured about COVID outbreak need to be aware? There's Brighton, and Brighton playing Wolves, so there's potential to get cancelled as well. You said Man City, Man United, Tottenham as well. Tottenham, yeah, they've had 2 games in a row been postponed. If they had 3, I'm not sure I'd be very happy with that. Gallagher to Mount or Hwang to Watkins. Got Bowen and Antonio. Gallagher to Hwang or so Gallagher to Mount or Hwang to Watkins. Hwang to Watkins on that one, I reckon, mate.
Checking the poll now, we're back. Salah 89%. He's going to be the popular captain this week. We've got the captaincy armband on sale at the moment as well. I don't think there's too many other options you can go for this game week, unless you want to go Bernardo Silva, or you go Trent in the same game against Newcastle at home. You could hope for one of those double returns. There was a little period there where Trent was able to outscore Salah for a couple of weeks there. I believe it was game week 11-12, got 12-15 points, then you got 9 as well. Also a differential captain in this one. Noted. What about Villa? Are they good? I believe Villa's good. Let me talk about COVID here. I believe Villa should be fine. Jeez, mate, no worries. Yeah, so with the Gallagher to Mount or Hwang to Watkins, you got to look at the player you're getting rid of there. So it's either Gallagher departing or Hwang departing. I'd much rather Hwang leaving my squad than Gallagher. That's for sure. City game postponed. If it's been confirmed, someone let me know. But at this stage, I think it's just up in the air. I don't think anything's final. Cody or Diaz? I probably like Diaz just because City's got a stronger defence than Wolves. Saying that though, Wolves' defence has been very good. Except Wolves have a lot more difficult fixtures than Man City. So then you just take Diaz, you spend a little bit extra. Dennis for captain. He's another one that's got a strong fixture this week. 9 points last week. Also a decent differential shout. He could have been better differential captain last week against Norwich. And I think he did end up outscoring Salah by 1 point. Burnley can be an annoying team to play against, especially when Burnley are playing at home. But yeah, another differential captain. Thoughts on 8-0 as a budget defender? I do think he's going to be a good option once Wolves go through their good fixture swing. I think he actually has to be one of the best defensive assets for Wolves at the moment, in terms of the fact that he's fairly cheap and he's probably the most attacking Wolves defender. Saying that though, there's not too many Wolves defenders that get attacking returns in general. City game is on as per news. Alright, that's useful. That'll be ideal. Best teams to aim for move budget defenders. I know Villa, Palace and West Ham have decent fixtures. Yeah, you could go, obviously the defence is there. Otherwise, Arsenal is one that you haven't mentioned. That's alright as well. We've got Ben White. He's been doing well for us just like off the bench. I believe we played him against Newcastle at home, played him against Watford at home, played him against Southampton at home. He can be handy there for clean sheets. And they've got West Ham, Leeds, Norwich, Wolves, which is a pretty nice next four as well. I'd be happy with those. And as you touched on, Palace defence, alright. Or West Ham as well. I'm liking West Ham's defence. You could go so far. Have spoken about him a couple of times so far. Ronaldo's still a viable option if you can keep this game week. I'll move to double City midfield. I think Ronaldo's still a viable option if you just hold this week and then start him next week. I said this a couple of times. You think you should treat him put him in the same basket as Cancelo. That like he's that good of an FPL asset at the moment that you're just happy to bench him for 1 week. Wildcard tips. Yeah, so I go some Aston Villa action. I'd probably go Watkins. You could go for like a Sofal as a differential in defence. I'm liking him. Definitely go triple Liverpool's good for now. Trent, Jota, Salah stays there. City midfielder in Bernardo or Foden or Gundogan or Sterling, whoever you like. Ramsdale in goals. I'm liking. Rudiger. Could be worth one. The Chelsea defence, a Watford forward as well. Then you could go Arsenal, an Arsenal midfielder, a West Ham midfielder. If Gallagher can play more attacking, you go for Gallagher or even Mason Mount. All good options on the wild card. Is Ings going to start? Good question. I'll check that one for you. It looks like Ings is actually only a 54% chance to start. And Watkins is actually a 49% chance to start. Very interesting. I definitely think Watkins should be higher than that. That's very interesting. I personally think Watkins is a higher chance to start than 49% there. I'm not sure about that one. Bernardo or Jota? I'm liking Jota. There's no better time to triple captain Salah. I mean, for a single game week, this is probably the best chance you'll get. Have Antonio, Watkins and King up front. Any tips on who to replace? I wouldn't replace anyone at the moment. That's a very good forward line. Wouldn't be changing that one. Antonio out. I don't think so at the minute. I'm liking Antonio. Got good fixtures coming up. I can already see Salah being benched. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. He's played a lot of games recently. Played Champions League, then played it in the weekend. And then he's playing this week as well. It's like 3 games in the space of a week for Salah. And just the Liverpool really needs Salah against Newcastle at home. I don't know. Just something to think about if you're wanting to pull the triple captain button on him. You may just come off the bench and feature for a little bit. Make sure you got someone triple vice. That's looking good. I only have 8 players playable. Show use free hit. 8's not the worst. I think if you got like 5 or 6 players missing, then at that point you free hit. But 8 players is still doable. It isn't the best though. Is it worth bringing in Watkins and Cash for a -4 hit given the recent postponements of fixtures? I do think Watkins is a good transfer in this week. Villa have, just to confirm, I'm not sure. And you could go for cash as well. But for a -4, maybe I'll just go for Watkins. Smart play. West Ham has good fixtures. That's why we went for Antonio, because he's tried and tested. We've seen him get points before. We know what he can do, and he's got good fixtures coming up. I thought he's a nice, safe option in the forward line that you can rely on for those points. So going for a bigger punt with Watkins. Saying that, we probably will still end up getting Watkins anyway. Bernardo or Foden? I mean, we've got Bernardo, and even though Foden's got better underlying stats, I think Bernardo's probably a high chance to start, and he's taking a lot of shots on target as well, which is Bernardo's main strong suit. Can I use my free hit? I've got 6 players out. At that point, not a bad idea. With 6 players out, that's just going to be detrimental to the rank, I reckon. Yeah, it just depends how many players you can field. Ronaldo and Mbuemo to Watkins and Foden for a -12. It's a big hit. Made the Ronaldo transfer for a hit before COVID news. So you bought in Ronaldo. I think I'd probably hold Ronaldo. If you just bought him in, I wouldn't just get rid of him for a minus hit. It's probably too many minus points. Hold Ronaldo. And if you want, you could go to Mbuemo to Smith Rowe. Similar price, probably affordable. Start Guaita or Sanchez. I feel Wolves could score, but also Brighton have Webster, Duncan, Duffy injured. Yeah, it's start Guaita. Right before deadline. Well, yeah, I think definitely you should just wait right until deadline before you make any huge transfers like that. I'm assuming that means you filled 8 players, which it's doable. It's doable. Should I double Man City defense Walker and Cancelo? Honestly, not a bad option. It just depends on who you're going to bring in Walker for, because obviously you'll get rid of someone else. But City's fixtures are that good at the moment that you could do it. It's just that with Zinchenko now playing as well, it's potential that one of those players won't play, and you're obviously spending a lot of money on Walker for him to get benched in some games. Yeah, I've been looking to get Watkins in, but last week he played left wing. And Ings played the striker role. Any concerns? Yeah, obviously with the positioning there, it's not the greatest. And actually, they've got Watkins at just a 49% chance to start this week, which is interesting. Because they're saying Buendia and Ramsey are going to play wings, but I'm not sure about that. I think Watkins, if he's going to play, he's most likely going to be on the wing, and Ings will be the central striker. Yeah, I'm streaming 5 hours earlier. Well, yeah, it's just because of our time difference at the moment. It's like 1 a.m. right now where we are, so we're not going to be able to do it. It's like 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. That's just like no sleep. So this is the best time for us. How long have you been playing FPL? I believe it's around 4 or 5 years now. Not like you haven't been playing it for ages. Still like relatively new to the game compared to a lot of other YouTubers, but we put a lot of time and effort into it, so not a decent amount about it. Foden or Sterling for a -4. Oh, it's tough. I think Sterling. I do think Sterling's been in better form, and he's at least a higher chance of starting this week, is what I can say. Made an early transfer and took a -4. Sancho, Rafinha out, Grealish phone in. Now, should I remove Ronaldo for another hit or start Douglas Luiz? I wouldn't remove Ronaldo for another hit. I think I'd just play Douglas Luiz this week and bring Ronaldo back in the week after. Yeah, be happy with that. Duffy to Sufal or Young? Yeah, it just depends what the defense you want to target, whether it's Villa or West Ham. I'd personally target West Ham defence. I'm liking so far. Took a -4. Brownhill, Gundogan out. Bowen Gallagher in. Yeah, it's not bad. Would you take a -8 to move Ronaldo / Origi onto field 11 players? So essentially taking a -4 to go from 10 players to 11 players. If that's the case, I'd probably hold off it. I think 10 players is definitely a viable amount. So I'm happy with that, just 10. And hold Ronaldo ideally. Bernardo Silva or Foden. Bernardo Silva's got a high chance of starting and he's putting points on the board, so we go Bernardo Silva, even though Foden's got better underlying numbers. Yeah, you just don't know whether Foden's going to get those starting minutes. It's just the big concern. Even though he's got the best underlying stats, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to who can actually get on the pitch. Bowen or Gallagher, I think, even though Gallagher's coming off a big haul, Bowen's probably got better underlying stats. Well, he does. I've been looking at him. And he looked good in Gameweek 16. And sometimes Gallagher can play CDM, which is annoying. Holding off was I thought. Thanks, man. No worries. Triple captain Salah, or is there a chance he doesn't play or comes off early? Definitely a chance that he doesn't play or comes off early or even gets subbed on. Played Champions League on the weekend and he's going to be playing Friday, which is still a fairly decent break, but it's going to be 3 games in the space for around a week. And as I touched on before, Newcastle at home is not the most important fixture in the world for Liverpool. They should be able to get the job done without him. So there is potential there. Personally, we're just going to hold the triple captain for a double game week. It's probably the safest decision. And with all these fixture postponements, there could be some nice double game weeks coming up. Mate, I have Ronaldo and Tony as forwards, and I have 1 transfer for this week. Should I go for Ronaldo to Antonio? I'd probably get rid of Tony if I could get rid of one of them. So Tony to Watkins is definitely a viable option if you have the money. Or you can go for Tony to a Watford forward as well. Chance of United v Brighton also being called off on Saturday. Even Avrak has only just happened at United. There is a chance of that actually. I was thinking about that and someone brought that up. Obviously it's a long way in the future in the context of how many games have to be played, and we have to see about that, but that is something to consider. I'm not sure what the duration is of how long they have to not play for, but I think more than likely that game should be right to go ahead. 5 of my players out for this game week. Is a -8 worth it to bring in replacement players? Yeah, definitely could be worthwhile. It just depends who you go for there, whether it's going to be Ronaldo. Thoughts on Dennis and King double up? Someone I did see suggested that before. It is definitely a good, it's a viable option. It'd be viable to Game Week 23, to when Dennis has to leave, then you get rid of Dennis, and then 1 week after that you get rid of King. So you have booked in 2 transfers down the line. Maybe 1 is the more wise decision for now. Tips for players who will meet each other, who are playing against each other. So I wouldn't go out of my way to bench a player just because they're playing against another player. You're just looking in your squad, you purely base it on who's got the better fixture, who's been in better form. I think it can often backfire where you bench a player playing against another player because you think like a certain player will score or a certain player will get a clean sheet, and then you end up with returns on your bench. So just play the players with the best fixtures in my tips.
Alrighty, guys, get your last questions in now because we're gonna have to wrap up the stream for today. Yeah, thanks to everyone that's come and joined. Today's been absolutely unreal. I've had record people join this stream. I've had the highest number of people in this stream I've ever had before. And yeah, we've also hit 7,000 subscribers on this stream, so I do highly appreciate that. And also, just looking at the poll now, record number of votes on the poll with 802 votes. That is absolutely insane. Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, we're going to head off to bed for a bit and then wake up at I think, what time to wake up? At 6 o'clock for the Premier League games, Melbourne time. But yeah, obviously, it's 1 a.m. now, so we're going to head off. Everyone in UK, enjoy the rest of your day till when the games start later on. Any final questions, just send them to us via Twitter or Instagram. We'll try to reply to either today or tomorrow. I'll answer one last question in the chat. Is a -8 hit worth it to bring in Watkins for Vardy, Jota for Gundogan, and Pinnock for Diaz? Yes, it is. But yeah, thanks once again, guys, for joining. If you haven't already liked this stream, try to get to 60 likes. Just 4 more likes in the stream. And yeah, we'll see you guys in our next stream or our next video, knee-jerk reaction, in a couple of days.